Innova, in times past, you have served as guardian and gatekeeper at blah blah blah. You must forgive me, dear Emerald, Doc, Spock. Sorry, I just had to do that one. Okay. Of course, we must watch them closely to minimize any chance for surprises. But now that Cliff is leading them, I just can't do it. I'll be Ronald Reagan instead. Charming, but unnecessary for now, Innova. Just continue mountaining, whatever your activities with her is. I don't care. It seems as though Alcyone has vanished for me to poop on.
Alright, so yeah, that was
It
the
seems...
outtakes. Next is Mokonas Home, which is
Don't trouble yourself, Innova. Don't trouble yourself, Innova.
the sound test theater for all of the music in the game and the names for all the games. So I will go ahead and do my final commentary in this, and then the credits will roll. So this effectively will be the last episode of Let's Play Magic Knight. And I'm not entirely sure what number this is going to be, so I'm not going to number it, and at least I'm not going to say what number it is, because I don't know! Yeah, anyway. This has been Let's Play Magic Knight for the Sega Saturn. Aside from some translation differences, this pretty much is the story of Magic Knight rayearth, the manga or anime versions. There are, you know, differences, but it's the gist of it. 3 girls get swept away from a field trip to Tokyo Tower to a mysterious world of magic and mayhem and mystery and delights, only to find out that they themselves are kind of the bad guys when they were told they were going to be heroes, or that they were needed to be heroes. And in a way, they are heroes, because they saved the world of Sephiroth by killing the person keeping it in one piece, because she couldn't keep it in one piece anymore. Really depressing. I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the most depressing story I've ever read or seen as far as any sort of game, anime, or manga. It's just, it's heart-wrenching, it really is. These girls were doing what they thought was right by defeating the bad guy, and little did they know they were being the bad guys by just destroying love. So, this game feels like it was directed by M. Night Shyamalan, because that was quite a twist! For those of you interested in the anime version of this, there is or anime or manga, there is a sequel to it. I can't really say sequel, because if you've got the manga, I guess it's just, you know, continuation. The anime, I guess you could call it a sequel, because I think it is listed as Magic Knight rayearth 2. And it's a several volume set, and it talks about what happens to Sephiroth afterwards, and it's actually a really good story. A little bit out there, but still really good. I recommend picking it up if you get a chance. Other than that, just going through listening to some of the songs of the game. I don't want to, you know, jip you guys too much as far as the bonuses, especially since it was kind of a pain getting all these rainbow emulets. It really was. This by no means was this is probably going to be the shortest full LP I've done of an RPG. It's not a very long game at all, and it really couldn't be, because they put so much stuff onto this disc. They put the anime scenes with voice. They put a lot of voice acting. I didn't go through and show off the diaries, but there are a lot of diary entries for a lot of the events that we went through, and there's 3 different perspectives of each event, because you've got Hikaru, Umi, and Fuz, and then you've got the Black Diary of Innova that's kind of there and kind of not. I can't even stand the Black Diary. It's just creepy. The 2 pieces that I showed, that's creepy. If I get requests to it, I may go through and highlight some of the more entertaining or more plot relevant diary entries of the girls, like Hikaru's diary entry for when they fought Rafarga. I mean, that one's got to be depressing, considering she kind of had like a little crush on him from just the way everything looked. So, if I get a request for that, I may do that. I've already got, you know, these extra videos that I'm already doing as far as the outtakes and the mokonas home. Other than that, I really don't know what else to say. This has been a really fun game. I believe this is the very last game to be released on the Sega Saturn. I know I've said that a couple of times, but I'm not I want to say someone corrected me on it and said that this was the last one. If not, they were saying that Panzer Dragoon was. And I think that's backwards. I think this is the last game, and I said Panzer Dragoon was. But this one, if not, I know it was within the last 5 games. And that says something, given the Saturn's lifespan. So yeah, one other thing I'm going to show off is when you go to the screen, it shows the little profile pictures. Apparently the anime of that would be a little roulette wheel, and you had the red, blue and green for Hikaru, Umi, and Fu, and the yellow one was Mokona, but then they also throw in the other artwork for the other characters as well. And so I was showing off a couple of those. There's a lot of images to this game that it's really hard to get a hold of. There's no way to just cycle through them easily. So that's all of it. And now we have the final credits, which start off with 3 naked girls. 3 naked underage girls. That's just wrong. But they don't show anything, so it's supposed to be wholesome. It's supposed to be, but it's one of those games that probably wouldn't get a rating, an easy rating that it did. And then we've got a lot more artwork in the background, which that's one of the only reasons why I'm showing off the credits for this one, because the artwork that they put forward is just gorgeous. I love the art style of this series. I've probably mentioned it before, but I'll go ahead and mention it again, since one of the major changes is Fu with a bow. That's a complete game aesthetic. In the anime, she carried a claymore. She had the biggest sword out of all 3 of them. She had a giant claymore with no hilt. That's I just find that funny. Hikaru's sword always kind of reminded me of something phallic. And the crossguard always seemed like it would get in the way. But it's still a cool sword nonetheless. I just don't see how it could be used practically. And we've got the other characters. You've got Ferio, Presea, Mokona, and Clef. Mokona also makes an appearance in the anime Tsubasa, which is not one I've had a chance to see, so I'm kind of curious if anyone can throw any information my way of what Mokona's relevance is in that, and if it ties the 2 series together. That would be awesome. Then we've got the bad guys, Ascot, Caldina, Alcyone, Innova, and Rafarga. Except Rafarga I don't really think counts as a bad guy because he didn't want to be a bad guy. Just mind-controlled. And Emerald and Zagat, the definition of 2 star-crossed lovers, I assume. The Magic Knights in their final forms with their rune gods behind them. Rayearth. I like the little headdresses that they wear. Each one gets a very unique one it seems kind of related to their rune god. Truth be told, I kind of like Ceres, Ceres, I'm not sure how it's really pronounced. The dragon. I always liked dragons. Wyndham, however, is really cool. I did think that Rayearth got kind of gypped because it didn't have wings. It was the only one without wings, but it had that giant claw shield thing, so I guess that kind of makes up for it. And then, I'm not entirely sure what the name of this rune god is, the one that fuses all 3 of them together. Because, like I said, I've never really seen that part in the game, and I don't remember it in the anime. I don't remember it being named. So, alright, yeah, I hope you all have enjoyed this Let's Play. I've enjoyed doing it, and I hope you all stick around for my future projects. Until then, later everyone.